Greetings one and all, and welcome to another Mystic Mind Analysis. I am the Nightmare Rider, Major Mind, reminding you as always that even a cheeseburger can be deconstructed to its original source. Recently, Commander Firebrand and Tommy Oliver made two videos engaging in discussion on how the analysis community has affected the MLP Fandom as a whole, particularly for the negative. I found my place in the fandom following in the footsteps of Tommy, ANY, Voice of Reason and Mr. Enter to express my own deconstructions of the thematic elements of this particular cartoon. Having been in the fandom since just before season 2, from my observations, episodes that have polarising opinions aren't that particularly new. Feeling Pinky Keen was the first episode I noticed to become controversial, with Mysterious Meldwell following suit in season 2. With any TV show, there will always be episodes that divide people, even without the entire sub-communities dedicated to analysis and critique. A key thing that Firebrand points out is the size of the fandom has grown since its inception, especially within the analysis community. There are so many who are putting their critical thoughts that, inevitably, there will be enough people for personalities to clash over disagreements. However, I would not say that this is a particular problem with the concept of analysis itself. Rather, I find that these conflicts usually come from failing to understand the different values in media that people enjoy. If we look at a different piece of media, primarily music, this becomes a lot more obvious. Among heavy metal fans, where the line between rock and metal is placed can be hugely different depending on who you ask. We can all generally agree that metal songs usually involve guitar riffs, drum beats, a bass line, and more often than not, vocals. However, when bands like Baby Metal and Van Canto come along, the formula deviates from the norm, adding or changing particular parts of said formula. If a metal fan values the thickness of sounds in terms of what they can find most enjoyable, then the squeaky clean and clear pop elements of Baby Metal isn't going to be their cup of tea. Similarly, if someone holds clear melodies and catchiness as key to their enjoyment, then a band like Napalm Death is just going to sound like complete noise to them. I personally find that analysis and critique has helped me enjoy the show more, because I understand what values within the show appeal to me most. As I did with movies before I became a brony, I try to be as fair as possible with my analysis, being honest about how much my critique helps or hurts the episode. Being able to understand what is wrong with an episode doesn't necessarily mean that I'm being nitpicky. Rather, it helps me appreciate the good parts more that are done really well. I have seen people on both ends of the spectrum who I consider to be both too kind to the show and far too harsh. Criticism should not be considered a bad thing, but neither should we let every minor detail ruin the show for us completely. I think it will be beneficial to the fandom as a whole if we are more open about our benchmarks for what makes a good episode, reminding ourselves about what we like about the show while accepting that it doesn't have to be perfect in order for us to enjoy it can save a lot of fuss caused by drama, while also keeping a healthy outlook as a reminder of why we watch MLP to begin with. It is a relatively unique thing to be so involved with analysis and critique with something that was initially considered outside our traditional gender roles. I have seen many analysts expand outwards to discuss other animated shows and media in general, all of whom started on MLP. Speaking personally, without MLP, I doubt I would be loving shows like Adventure Time, Gravity Falls and Steven Universe as much as I do. So overall, I think analysis has mostly benefited the brony fandom, giving us new ways to think about the show while also making many new friends in the process. Not to mention how we enjoy other media more because of how we have honed our analysis skills through MLP. Now I want to know what you think. How has analysis affected this fandom for good or for ill? Let me know in the comments, and I hope we can get a good discussion going. This is the Nightmare Rider, Major Mind, riding out.